The pathways of life are glorious and challenging too. There are scores of pitfalls and potholes and hurdles on the way, and it's quite likely that we might hit each one of them. Now, whether we are going to use these setbacks as a springboard or not will depend a lot on our resilience, and our resilience depends on our mental strength and our emotional intelligence, or emotional quotient, or EQ as it is known as. Now, EQ comprises of self-awareness, motivation, empathy, interpersonal skills, and finally self-control. Self-awareness, it is very important that we should be aware of our own potentials and talent. Very often you will find people go through their entire life not realizing their true potential and their talents. The reason is much of our potential and talent sometimes lies hidden in something called our blind spot or our unknown self, and it might get revealed to us if we seek feedback. So solicit feedback from your family members, from your friends and your colleagues, for this might help you to actually regain your essence and reach that potential that you have hidden in you. So it's very important to seek feedback. Also make it a point to sit down once every 6 months to list down your strengths and your weaknesses. Do an analysis of your strengths and your weaknesses, especially your weaknesses. List them down, because most people are unwilling to accept something as a weakness. For instance, there are several alcoholics who hide behind the facade of social drinking, not accepting that they are an alcoholic. I'm not talking about all drinkers, I'm talking about those drinkers who overdo it. So unless you can accept your weakness, you're not going to do anything about getting rid of it or changing. So accept it and do it every 6 months, this strength and weakness analysis, because only if you do it every 6 months, you will know whether periodically your strengths are increasing and your weaknesses are decreasing. Motivation. It's very important to know what motivates you. It is very important to also know what motivates the people who are around you. For only then you will be a true leader. And mind you, everybody who's born has some leadership trait to some degree in the person. So hone that leadership skill by realizing, by knowing, by being aware of what motivates you and what motivates the people around you. So know where you stand in the Maslowian hierarchy. Is it money and income and security that drives you? Or is it acceptance and recognition that drives you? Or is it the urge to create something, to create a legacy that drives you? Knowing this will help you set the right goals. Also know where people around you stand in their Maslowian hierarchy. For realizing this will help you to improve their quality of life, and when you help someone improve their quality of life, you are improving your own quality of life. Third is empathy. Now, what is empathy and what is sympathy? Now, sympathy may be feeling sorry for someone, feeling pity for someone, but empathy is when you put yourself in their shoes and think like them in order to become aware, in order to realize why that person behaves or acts or reacts in a certain fashion. All of us must have seen some movie or the other based on serial killers. You know, in these movies, the policeman takes on the role of a psychologist and tries to, enter into the mind, into the thinking of the serial killer in order to anticipate what he might do next, so that they can apprehend him before he commits another serious crime. Now, that is somewhat akin to empathy. This might be a very negative example, but it results, the empathy there results in a very positive outcome, namely the arrest of a dangerous criminal. So that's empathy for you. Interpersonal skills. Now, this has a very wide footprint because it is also called social skills or soft skills, and it comprises of several skills like communication skill, leadership skill. It includes decision making skill, problem solving skill, negotiating skill. So these are certain skills that everybody has to possess, because you might be technically a very, very brilliant person, but if you lack interpersonal skills, you're always going to remain on the bottom rung. And finally, we have self-control. It's important to have self-control, because after having listened to these traits that helps your EQ and your resilience, you might be thinking that your EQ is pretty strong. But then if you don't have self-control, the final trait that helps you to develop your EQ, then everything else results or ends up in a knot. So it's important to have self-control. I'm sure you can recall some friend or family member or colleague, or maybe some celebrity, well-known celebrity, who has been shattered because of a lack of self-control. In fact, the pathways of life are strewn with the debris of celebrities from sports or other fields who have been broken because of a lack of self-control. So it is important that you should exercise self-control in your behavior, in your relationships, in your anger, especially when you feel that urge to shoot off your mouth. So there you go. These are the 5 traits of EQ, and if you can hone them, your quality of life will definitely improve and life will become more fulfilling. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.